It's started. Okay, there we are for a new match. The play map is really quality.
Oh, that's a really nice play, man.
Quality. The
Monopoly.
Monopoly play map
I never
is
saw
quality.
that before.
No,
This
never.
is
I
great.
also never saw it. Anyways, okay, we have a match
Adrien de
between
Cotro.
Adrian de Grotau
Oh.
a humans, Donald Humans.
But this
Okay,
is a local hero from Bern, Adrian.
okay.
He's a very, very good player, very known player here, and I know him. We played against him. It's very hard to win against him for me. And the other player, I don't know.
He's playing the deck that I would play in this tournament if I would play. Adrian. He's playing white blue control. A really, 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 really good list. It seems that he is playing some green. I don't know if it is for the sideboard or just for the prismatic ending, but still he is playing a breeding pool for some green. And the list is kind of a stuck list. The only difference is he's playing 3 Chalice of the Void main deck and 2 Spreading Seas. This is a little bit the flex slot that white blue has. And like I'm playing normally 1 Chalice and 4 Spreading Seas. He's playing 3 Chalice and 2 Spreading Seas. But he is also playing 2 Spreading Seas in the sideboard.
On the other hand, we got Blue Moon. So
Okay.
a really crazy control mirror that we got here. So, well, as win cons, we got Brazen Borrower, Murktide, Snapcaster, Subtlety, and there's a lot of counter magic as well. Archmage Storm, Counterspell, Dead Gone, Electrolyze, Fire Ice, 4 Lightning Bolts, 2 Prismaric Command. I like Prismaric Command actually. It's a really interesting card. 4 Thought Scour. So Thought Scour, I guess this is because of Burktide and Snapcaster. And he's playing 4 Consider. So the
Yes.
card that we already talked about before.
Yes, because this list is more like a control deck that closes with Snapcaster and Murktide and just goes for some card advantage in the late game and so on. But he doesn't play the one drops totally. 0 monkeys and 0 dragons. This way, it's like a control approach and a total control approach. One card that can make the difference that we have to look at really with interest is the Fairy Time Reveler
Oh, yeah.
because it's a huge problem for the blue red deck. And Blood Moon can be a problem for the white blue.
But there are then not enough of the basic lands or so
There,
on.
there are enough, but at the same time you are playing Archmage Charm that is
Oh,
triple
yeah.
blue.
It's
It's
really
not
heavy
so
blue.
easy. It's still it's a deck that fixes his mana also with Mystic Gate and so on, and he plays just one island. This way, it's not so easy with a Blood Moon into play. You cannot play your Solitude for your 5 mana. That is something that happens pretty a lot in a matchup
Ah,
like this
okay.
because you don't want to lose resources because you don't feel depression normally. You feel just the card advantage. You
Mm.
outgrind something. You
Mm.
want to outgrind to the.
So what do you predict? Just looking, well, we are just on 2 for the blue white player. What would you predict about these 2 decks? Um, what do you think? Who would be favored?
Oh, it's really hard. I think I would go for the white blue deck. I think because
Because
like
you like it.
all no, I like both decks to be honest. Both are kind of my type of decks to be honest. They are both like interesting to my eyes.
Are you a control player?
Yes,
Oh,
mostly.
oh,
But he has like in this matchup, if I look game one, I think about Dead Gone, I think about Bolts, I think about Prismari Command, and I think they are not really useful. On the other side, I look at the mostly I look at the where are they? The prismatic ending. that prismatic ending is not at its best in.
All right.
This is a Murktide on turn 2.
Turn 2, Murktide with the
This can make the difference
yes.
because the only way. Okay, there are solitudes.
This was because of Thought Scour.
Yeah, yes, but not just Toxar. It has to be fetch, Toxar.
Yeah, many things together, but
Fetch, Toxar, fetch. Is
Yeah.
it, right?
yeah, I must. No.
Yes. Get to 7. Yes,
Oh.
sure. How can you?
What? Yeah, fetch.
You need to remove 5 cards.
Yeah, exactly.
Fetch. I didn't see it, but it has to be fetch, Toxar, fetch.
Ah, Thought Scour. Yeah, I had another card in hand. Yeah, it was like. But I mean, we had this. I also played once a Grixis control deck where we were able with Thought Scour on turn 2 Tazigur.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you compare it with a 5/5 fire on turn 2,
that's heavy.
pretty good.
Range. It makes sense. He is searching for the solitude.
All right.
Because he has just the solitude and the wrath. The problem with the wraths, he will be at 9 lives when he wins. And then your opponent could just go like maybe just a Snapcaster Mage, keep the pressure on, and you have 4 bolts. I was speaking about the fact that bolts and prismatic ending and so on were not good cards. But if your opponent is at 5 lives
they are super
they,
valuable cards.
they are getting good.
Definitely.
They are getting good. That's a little bit. It's
so we get
the start for the red-blue deck is perfect, I would say, because not only he got to play a big creature on turn, but at the same time he got to. He was lucky enough that his opponent didn't have solitude, because think about it: if he plays solitude, then all the pressure is gone, and the graveyard is gone, and the game goes long.
It's like
now
sitting there
it's
with
a
nothing
rot,
in the
it's
hand.
a verdict, and now the fact is 9 lives. He has just 2 mana. He will probably cast as Snapcaster if he has it.
To put some pressure on the board.
Yes. No, he will not.
Consider.
I'm thinking about maybe. I think he passed the turn without with a counterspell open, because why should you not play considering your turn? That's probably it's just because he had the counterspell open and he wanted to react to the other possibilities.
So it looks like that he's I don't know, he got found on the lands.
Blood
Moon. Ooh. And there's only one blue left, one blue source for a blue-white player.
2 blue source.
Interestingly, there's also the Triumph on the Rogrim. Triumph, which adds some red.
Yeah, that's normal in all the white-blue list.
But is there something going on with red?
What?
Is there something going on with red? The prismatic. All right, I see.
The strange thing is just the breeding pool. It adds another color, but normally the list don't play. I didn't see breeding pool.
Is it for Kai?
No, maybe. No. You can play Kairo without green.
You can play with white, but
I don't see green cards on the sideboard. No, there are no green cards. It's just for prismatic end. You have 4 colors if you need. They said he's at 5. We said 5 is not a lot of life.
Yeah, but there's Prismari command. But yeah, he found some blue sources.
It's a little bit a pity having so nice islands and then put the other islands here to them.
Yeah, exactly. I also think the old frame cards, they're really beautiful.
Yeah, I love them. It's an alpha one, and
what
I
kind
think
of basic
2 alpha
lanes
ones.
do you play?
I play limited. I need the cheapest one for
The
limited.
cheapest one.
If
But
you
but
play
in your
limited,
in your
you want to
most
be like a
beloved
modest.
modern
You want to
deck.
be like if I would play constructed, if I want that my deck is beautiful, I would
Sure.
use Alpha Lands.
Oh wow, Alpha Lands. Yeah, that's it's not a cheap thing, but
No, it's not a cheap thing.
but it's a choice of culture, of course.
You know.
But yeah, he's in bold range now again.
But having the Alpha Lands near to that land, I would disqualify him. Maybe.
Well, I also don't like this Pokemon style land. Well, but there are many players who like them. It's
No,
very okay.
I don't hate them.
But
I hate them near to the Alpha ones. These are beautiful ones. But the other one is more expensive.
So bold range.
Bolt range.
Bolt range.
Yes.
There is also an attack for 3 damage on the battlefield. So another Murktide. No. Nope. Gets countered. Play a beautiful counter spell. Signed. Do you like signed cards?
I like signed cards. I don't like FNM cards.
It's an now I see it. I see.
I am a little bit picky on those.
No,
if I have to
that's right.
choose, I am a little picky.
I really don't like signed cards, but this is a personal
I like signed cards. It's
breeding pool.
the new art, the D&D
Dungeons and
art. Do you like them?
Well, for me personally, no.
I'm
But I
more-
mean, if you are into Dungeons and Dragons for years, you will love these arts.
I have to say one thing. I think a lot of the new arts are really cool, really nice, they're beautiful, and so on, but are nothing with magic. It's nothing. It's another. They would be still really good cards.
Yeah.
But for another game, I think.
But I think it's nice to have like some different artworks. Well, we also talked before
Yeah,
you don't
sure,
like
sure.
different artworks, you like one bolt. But I
I-
think this is like some sort of to personalize the deck that you love. And I'm really a guy who only has one modern deck. I had more before, but I only got one, and I really like to customize it as much, and then also showing some sort of this is why I chose this and this and.
Yeah, you are a modern player, but you are the classic legacy player.
Maybe,
No,
maybe,
normally it's
maybe there's some mixer or something went wrong. Oh, there's the bolts and no counter spell.
And nothing.
And we
that's
talked about this before.
Yeah, because when, as I said, in my opinion, the matchup is good for white blue. But if you don't have the answer to the 5/5, and if you get in the range of bolts and so on, and make all the cards that are useless in the matchup good cards, matchup changes drastically.
Yeah.
it's a huge difference.
Yeah, very, very. Well, yeah, I mean, Blood Moon also did the job. There was no white source left. I don't know what was in the hand of the blue white player, but if there was some white stuff. But yeah, Blood Moon was
Effective.
also effective. Pronounced in one word.
Effective. Yeah, I still think the matchup is pretty good for white blue, but I think it's not there is not a really big favorite. I don't
Alright.
think so.
But I mean, if the blue-white player, he could be, let's say, very fast, smash turn, read a fairy, and then go pump. I mean, this could also be a plan, or is it just as I mean, for me personally, when I look at the list, when I look at the plays now, at the game before, for me, the blue-white control is really the hard control deck.
Yeah, between
But-
the two for sure.
But yeah, in the two for sure. But how important is it to sit? Can you really sit back, or also needs to do something more actively
No,
against?
I
this
think
other deck?
you can be really passive in this match.
You can be really passive, and then in the end, cycle a huge Shark Typhoon. And
The fact
smash.
is, Solitude gives you the possibility to be really more passive in the games because it doesn't cost mana. If you want to draw cards and do stuff, if you have card quantity, you draw a lot, you make a card advantage and so on. With Solitude, kind of easy to keep the advantage. It's just if you have a card like, for example, he's playing 3 Memory Deluge, I would play probably one more because I think the card is insanely powerful in a control deck. But the card, if you have cards to back it up, because the problem is it is 4 mana. But at the same time, if you have cards like Solitude to back it up, like, okay, I play 4 mana, then I am out of things, but I have my 4 Solitudes in my deck. This way, the tempo loss I get from the Deluge, I will get back the tempo with a Solitude. And that's really, really effective for this kind of deck.
Memory Deluge in new edition.
Memory Deluge is the new card. I think it's the best 4 mana draw spell ever printed.
Really?
Yes,
so and you think it's
better than Factor Fiction?
It's better than Cryptic Command.
It's different. It's not a card draw. Cryptic Command. Cryptic Command is not card advantage. Memory Deluge is 3 cards card advantage in the late, and it's not just 3 random cards. When you play 7 mana Deluge from the graveyard, and you have the time, you win. It's really hard that you lose the game after this, if you have the time to do it. Board is stable. I look at the top 7, take 2 cards. What do you think if the board is stolen and you're like there and just look at your opponent and your opponent says, okay, I look at my top 7 and they take 2 cards?
I will quit and get a beer.
I think that's a good option. I mean, that probably the best option.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
exact.
Think for more mana, but
instant speed.
It's really better against. It's not better. It's still a really good card against Disruption. To get to a late game, the card. It's a card that I love. I bought one for full art Japanese.
Oh wow!
Because it was really cheap, and therefore I thought that's a little bit.
Foil or non-foil?
Foil, full art Japanese. €8. Not so.
It's not that much.
€8 is fine.
And now it's worth 5 times.
No, now it's worth €1. That's a moment where it's really low because it just came out and people. It's the White Blue is the only deck that is playing it. Wafo is a really good control player. He's streaming now in the last weeks, and he was playing control with Deluge in the deck, and he was playing 3, and he was telling during the stream that he thinks maybe it's 4 is the right number because the card is opinion. I agree with him. I think the card is really good. I love that type of cards this way. That's my type of cards.
It's your type of cards. It matches your play style. Yeah. Perfect. I also want to find
that draws cards in Chant.
That draws cards. Yeah, but it was, for example, Seasoned Pyromancer. This was a really sweet card.
I agree.
I really loved it.
Bloodbraid Elf.
Bloodbraid Elf. Well, it's not draw card,
it's card advantage.
Countered. Oh, beautiful counter.
Full art of Wonder.
Baby Teferi is really a big hit. A nice addition to off deck.
Really good. It's really good.
I mean, this guy is it's insane. Really and I mean, it was in a rare slot, but it's still worth it. And
one of the things that I think it's really funny of Teferi is like the best card. Is a really good card in control, and it is the best card against control.
Oh yeah, exactly.
It's really
makes it very interesting. Yeah, makes it very interesting. But I mean, in this matchup, it's really nice. You can bounce Murktide, and it's super great. I think it's very important to put it and smash it on the table as early. But yeah. But was it? Well, you're an expert in control. Is it right to play this very aggressive? Let's say aggressive. Or when you get 3 mana, you play Baby Teferi, but your opponent could have counterspell. Or is it better and wait until you also can back up with another counterspell? So maybe resolve it in turn 5 or.
No, I think it's not the kind of Teferi that you are just like if I play it I win. It's more like if I play it I have a huge advantage this way. But sooner you play it, more the advantage is there.
All right.
This way you try, and you have
try.
always to think about how many you have in your hand, because he's playing 4. This way,
Yeah.
also if he wastes 1, it's not so painful.
And I think there is another.
Yes, and it makes sense to have another one in hand because. Okay.
Yeah,
there is another one. And
Supreme Verdict as well.
Yeah, there is another one. This way, it makes sense to waste the first one, and also because he has Verdict in his hand, he's not like, oh, I play Teferi. If he counters, and my opponent plays counter and then Murktide, I am in a really bad spot.
Yeah,
no,
definitely.
He has still the other Teferi, and he has still Verdict. This way, you can just slam it and see what happens.
All right, and they also steal one of the counter spells of your opponent. Oh, there's Blood Moon again on the battlefield, and I think there's still a chance to fetch for Adrian, and he of course will do that. But I mean,
this is five non-basic lands. That's a lot of non-basic lands.
Yeah, it's now he finds one. If you get a white or a blue, I think it will be a blue one.
Really bad.
But Blood Moon is doing the job, I guess. Doing a good job. He takes the white.
Blood Moon is a problem now because he needs to hit the blue land naturally to play the Teferi and bounce the Blood Moon. But at the same time, he cannot defend his Teferi. Yes. Who tries to do something?
At least there is a creature on the battlefield. Fire, it's okay. And ooh, counter spell double blue. Oh, is it right to search for the white source here, or better for the blue source? When you see that Blood Moon enters the battlefield.
I think the question has to be different now that I think about it like this. What are you trying to do? Like this. I mean, now he needs the search for the planes, but also if he draws the island, the Teferi alone will not be enough on this spot, right?
Yeah.
This way.
But maybe it was also the idea that because he only had 1 planes in his deck, 4 islands.
No,
so
the only thing that I am thinking about is just maybe it's better to make a token, to not make a token and just draw the card and try to find a counterspell.
No, all right.
It's it's really more easy to say it after you draw the counterspell.
Yeah, exactly.
but at the same time, do you really think that a 3/3 will just win the game?
No.
And you know that you could just put yourself on pressure because of the 4 Archmage. This way, if your opponent takes your 3/3, you will have the Blood Moon and aggression. Now he will remove it, but still, I'm not sure about this. I mean, what do you have to draw to make it a good play? That's the question. Because if I draw an island, I can play Teferi. I bounce the Blood Moon, but the Blood Moon will come back. And maybe my opponent has also the counterspell up. Because I feel like there are good possibilities that my opponent has the counterspell up. With Blood Moon, I play 3 mana Blood Moon with 2 island opens. What do you think? I mean, when your most important spell in that moment is Blood Moon. Because you see that your opponent has 5 non-basic lands, you say, "Oh,
yeah,
come on, Blood Moon!"
Sit a little bit back and enjoy.
Come on, Blood Moon. I think not the best of the plays.
There was also a bolt going to token, and there.
understand it.
So hard costs. Brazen.
Why did you bolt the token?
Maybe
Not making guy in life because it was I steal your token with a charm.
yeah.
I will answer. I will remove it with solitude, and I will gain 3 lives. Okay, but bolt the token to you can do it later, right?
Or was it bolting? No, I'm not sure.
Yeah, but it makes no difference. But also on the
no
face, you
difference.
don't want to make a bolt in his face. That's the
So there is much pressure now going on
Da-
for the blue-red player.
double
Double the
another
trouble.
solitude.
There's a Murktide Regent in hand, Snapcaster.
On the counter spell.
This is control.
Blood Moon was the problem, as I told, and the Snapcaster was the other problem, the other trouble.
And now you can hit for 5. So already counting at the grave, this will be a Murktide, I think. I like this playmat. By the way, again.
The playmat is great.
So there's only 9 life left for the blue-white player.
I think the blue-white player now is just hoping get other 2 turns and get to like island. I don't know because he cannot rot as well. The rot is not anymore there. I don't think the white-blue deck can get out of it. Because the fact is, Blood Moon is Supreme Verdict is not a card anymore. This is what Blood Moon says. It's just heavy.
So there must be a massive, big 8/8 flyer Murktide. Okay, been backing up with everything. Well, there's to say in this situation. This
no,
really
the problem,
looks...
the fact is, Bright Blue can respond to this situation just with Rot, and Rot cannot be.
It cannot be played. Not in
No,
the next turn.
no, there is just one possibility. Okay, now the possibility is not there anymore. There was one possibility that was draw island, play the Teferi. Okay, draw the island.
Now we get
play
it.
the Teferi, bounce 1 Blood Moon, and Rot. If he didn't play the second Blood Moon, the game was still not over.
Yeah.
Because without the second Blood Moon, he would have played the Teferi, draw, pay for mana, Rot. Right. And we are still in the game.
Boom.
We're back. White Blue has... I don't know if he sided in Celestial Purge.
Would answer. Would be an answer.
Yeah, but just one
but
of
then
them.
I think it's not that. So Baby Teferi down again. Do you like control mirrors?
Yes.
Really? Yeah. And there's and with big actually.
Without the second Blood Moon, it was still a game.
Yeah.
2 Blood Moon. I think he bring in the third one instead of probably a bolt or something, or Dead Gone. I think he took out 2 Dead Gone for a Blood Moon and Spell Pierce probably.
Spell Pierce is not a bad card in the control mirror.
Bring in.
Oh, you bring in, yeah. And this is match.
It's over.
So 2-0 for our Blue Moon player here. And Blood Moon did the match. Actually, it was the card of the game. It was the card of the match. And winning, bringing back home this 2-0 for Donald Humans. Congrats to you.
That's too German.
The question is if we cannot display the name of the players, we are sorry for that.
We could maybe. I don't know. You have to ask our technical advisor.